We are live from Palm Springs at Palm Springs Stadium as we get set to go with our doubleheader action. Had a quick chance to catch up with our marketing director. We'll listen to that interview. Trying to give you guys insights as to everybody working behind the scenes here at Palm Springs for this CWL League. So we'll listen to my chat with Noah Fish here. Hope you guys enjoy that. Back in Palm Springs as we get set to go here for a doubleheader, as we have every day for the California Winter League. Talking with our marketing director today, Noah Fish. And Noah is very involved, obviously. He does all of our social media and stuff, but we'll let him kind of introduce himself and tell us a little bit more about what all you do around the ballpark, Noah.
Hey everybody, it's Noah Fish here. Very excited for my first season with the CWL. Joined the power staff this summer. And it's been great so far. Mainly just getting my hands in a bunch of different stuff: graphic design, social media marketing, reaching out to sponsors, and it's been a great season so far. Looking for more to come.
For all of our fans that don't know, and the people that follow along on our social media, he's the man behind all of those intense graphics and awesome graphics that he shares. Tell us a little bit about your work ethic and the job that goes into all that stuff. You hardly ever get sleep. I feel like you just run on energy drinks.
I do like to have an energy drink every now and then. Coffee's pretty solid too. But no, it's really great because this opportunity gives me creative lead out here. And with such an experienced front office, I'm able to work off them. They're able to work off my skill set. And I'm very proud of the art and everything we've been able to create together so far.
And tell us a little bit about the businesses that you're involved with. I know that you have, marketing meetings, a big group, and you can also talk about that big day coming up with all those people coming out for a networking day.
Yep, so I had the privilege to join a marketing referral company known as Desert Elite. It's the best in the Coachella Valley. And on February 8th, we're actually going to have Desert Elite Day. We're going to have them all out here, have our normal meeting here at the stadium, and there will be 50 of the top business owners in the Coachella Valley out here networking and watching some baseball.
Go back to your background just a little bit. I'm just a little bit more curious because you're more of a soccer and hockey guy, really. What's it been like working in baseball and learning more about the game and all of those aspects?
It's definitely been learning with stride. My background's in graphic design, so I try to make every little thing cute as possible out here. But at the end of the day, we're all athletes. It's the same hard work and blue-collar mindset, and Starkey and Justin really embody that and put that on their staff.
Well, that's all I got really for you right now. But again, just wanting to shine a light on more of the guys that are in the front doing all of the work and the hard effort that they put in and day out. No, I appreciate the time, and let's enjoy a good day of baseball today.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. Thanks, Mitch.
Live here in Palm Springs at Palm Springs Stadium, it's Mitch Glessner alongside Andres Tejeda here. More doubleheader action as we do every day. First game of the day will be between the Lumberjacks, they'll be the visiting team, and the Canada A's as we get set to go with baseball here. The A's come into this one. They are 2-6, and the Lumberjacks as well at 2-6, both of them at the bottom of the standings here for the California Winter League. We are ready to go here for baseball. First pitch is in there for strike one. The pitcher on the hill for the A's will be Kunimasa Suzuki. And the lead man here for the Lumberjacks is Kadrian Russ. He is the shortstop. So he takes outside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
A beautiful day for some baseball. A couple clouds in the sky, but nothing too threatening. Wind is little to non-existing. And I'm excited for some more baseball today.
This ball is hit over into right field. Giving chase is the right fielder down there. That is Adrian Pizzana. So he can't make the play. It'll be a long foul ball as we await for Kadrian Russ to get back into the batter's box. Obviously, yesterday a big day in the sports world as far as football is concerned. But we get back out here for some baseball action.
Had a walk-off yesterday. That was a fun one. 2 days back-to-back walk-offs. The Grizzlies walked it off after being walked off by the Canada A's who come into this game.
Swung on and missed. A strikeout. Kadrian Russ starts out the day going down on strikes, and there's quickly 1 away here in the top of the first early goings.
Batting second for the Lumberjacks.
So Suzuki fools him with the breaking ball. Suzuki, more of a jump ball guy. He's not going to really overpower anybody with the fastball. And now it'll be Jesse Russo to dig in. The second baseman stands in from the left side. A check swing here, and I believe it was a called strike.
Yep, that's definitely it. I missed that check swing. It looked like it was in the dirt, and
I believe it fouled off of his bat, but
maybe that was weird.
These umpires, we don't really obviously like to, make the focus about the umpires. We like to let them do their job, obviously, but these guys all getting their reps in as well as the players and the coaches. So they're running an umpire school out here for the California Winter League. And umpiring is not an easy task.
Oh, no, not at all. I've had a few opportunities to umpire in some games, and let me tell you, that is a tough choice of line of work.
Russo takes outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. I've done my fair share of umpiring, and oh man.
You ever toss anybody out?
Never tossed anybody out, but definitely wanted to at times as Russo awaits a 1-2. Here's the pitch. Swung on and hit back up the middle. That is going to be the shortstop over there, Aaron Ushery, and he puts away Russo on the ground out. So 2 down here in the top of the first.
I kind of want to attend some of those umpire classes, see what they do at this level. I did it for Little League and stuff like that. I did a couple high school games. Got my gear stowed away in my bedroom closet, just collecting dust at this point.
This will be Dontavius Dickey. He's in the 3-hole today. Quickly 2 outs here in the top of the first. First pitch swing, and he fouls it off the end of the bat. My experience umpiring, the funniest thing, so first time I ever umpired a game, we're trying to fundraise for my college team, for my junior college when I was playing. And we had to go umpire for it was called like the Monster Bash tournament. Mm-hmm. As this ball is hit off the end of the bat, and it is going to be a diving effort by the second baseman. Not in time on the throw. Walker Paz, a tremendous effort just to keep that ball in the infield. But legging it out for an infield hit is Dontavius Dickey. Great effort there by Paz.
Oh, he stretched out as far as you can, and Paz just able to get it, come up, and it was a close place at first.
Full extension by the second baseman, who is working. It looks like there's a pretty big wet spot out there around second base. Mm-hmm. So now it'll be the cleanup man in Drew Thomas with Dickey at first. But anyway, so we have to go umpire. It's called this Monster Bash, right? So it's right around, it's fall ball time. It's right around Halloween. So you're supposed to dress up as the umpire. And our head coach, he made it pretty funny. He's like, you know, the better you dress up, the less flack you're going to get. Because how hard is it for a parent to get mad at a guy wearing a Superman cape, right?
Yeah.
So we all show up, and this is like my first time ever umpiring. The ball is inside, stealing the base is going to be Dickey. So we show up. I have no umpiring experience. I hardly really even know what I'm doing. I'm very nervous, obviously. I showed up with like a cape on my back as Superman or something like that. The whole thing was just a mess. We're umpiring like 8-year-olds, and the entire time I just got yelled at, and I'm like, look, folks, I've never done this before. I'm very sorry, but I was thrown into a situation that I really didn't ask for.
This is the best you're going to get.
So that was my early on experience umpiring, and yeah, it's definitely a tough job as this ball runs too far in. Drew Thomas is going to be hit by the pitch, so runners will be at first and second after Dickey kept the inning alive with a single and stole second base.
The designated hitter, number 10, Greg.
I got my son umpiring with our local Little League. I stopped for like about 3-4 years, and last summer I got in a contract with this league out in the Midwest, or not league, but this officials company out in the Midwest. They signed contracts. And basically it's called Official Finders, and it was a nice job. Got paid about $20 an hour for each game I did. Not too bad. And it was a fun time. You get to travel all across the Midwest, and not too bad outside of the times that you got plunked there again.
The umpire signaled a foul ball. I think it hit the knob of the bat of Greg Vaughn. Umpire waved his hands up, but I think it is a dead ball, so it does hit him. I almost thought it hit the knob of the bat. So back-to-back hit by pitches, and now the bases will be loaded.
It's a fun time, but there are some coaches who are a little crazy, and even some fans.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
I've only ever had to toss out one person, and that was when I was younger.
The catcher,
I had a mom who is just a little too much of a fanatic and had some choice words for the 13-year-old of myself, and I was like, I can't keep doing this, and had to.
Right. It's one of those things, like, it's very easy if you've never really done it to just absolutely just, go crazy on the umpires. But,
absolutely.
Once you've done it, it kind of gives you that perspective change. So, bases will be loaded here with, let's see, this is Omar Ortiz Vasquez as he shoots it into right field. Coming around to score is Dickey. Being waved around now is Thomas. So it'll be a 2 RBI base hit for Vasquez on the single to right.
Nice piece of hitting there. Nothing too hard. Just put the bat out there, and it went over Walker Paz's head, and they're now leading 2-0.
So out to an early start after 2 quick outs. Russ led off by striking out swinging, then Jesse Russo grounded out, and now the Lumberjacks find themselves rallying with 2 outs, and now it's Christopher Baker who takes strike 1 with 2 outs. Lumberjacks lead it 2-0 after the 2 RBI base hit from Omar Ortiz Vasquez. 0-1 count, pitch on the way, swing, and a foul ball. Get Omar Ortiz Vasquez there, driving in his 2nd and 3rd RBIs of the Winter League on his 4th hit. Christopher Baker with that more unique batting stance from the left side as he waves the bat and awaits. Here's the pitch. It is swung on, hit in the air to shallow center field. Giving chase is the center fielder, Travius Ford, who squeezes it on the routine fly ball out. But not before the damage is done. The Lumberjacks on the board early here in Game 1 of our doubleheader. They lead it 2-0 as we go to the bottom of the 1st. To the bottom of the first we go. The Lumberjacks lead it early on here, 2-0 on 2 hits there at the top of the first. He'll bring up the Canada A's. This will be Travius Ford. He'll set the table for the A's. On the mound for the Jacks, it'll be the left-hander Jack Silva. He comes in with 3 games started. He's allowed 8 earned runs in 14 1/3 innings of work. 12 strikeouts, but he has allowed 13 walks. Here's a foul tip off the bat of Ford down in the hole, 0-1. So we'll see what Silva can bring to the table today. Him and Roberts have started the most games for the Lumberjacks. Takes a long look in as Ford awaits an 0-1. Coming set, kicks and deals. Swung on and missed. Big swing from Ford.
Ford's batting an even 300. He's got 3 runs, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk. He's got a triple in that walk-off game that they had 2 days ago against the Grizzly. And he also has 2 singles.
So he'll try to set the table here. An 0-2 count as he's in the hole, and Silva deals. Fastball swung on, hit into left field, moving to his right, and in a little bit is Chris Baker, and he squeezes it for the first out on the flyout. So an easy out, number 1, and now it'll be Adrian Pizzana. He will bat second for the Canada A's. Again, both of these teams at the bottom of the standings. We had a couple of real good games yesterday and a good showing from the fans as well.
Oh, absolutely. It was probably the most fans we've had thus far at the Cal Winter League, and it's always nice when you get to see some regulars, see some people from the street fair come on down. It's a great time because then we get to know the community a little bit better.
0-1 count here to Pizzana, who taps it out in front. That is going to be the third baseman over there, Drew Thomas, who makes the play. So quickly 2 up and 2 down, much like the Lumberjacks did in the top half. And it'll be up to Antonio Carta to try and keep the inning alive.
Number 17, Antonio Carta.
Antonio Carta's at a 125 average, only 1 hit, being a single and 8 at-bats. He's got an RBI, a run, and a hit by pitch. Walked once and struck out twice.
Yeah, so yesterday, kind of alluding to that, we did have the walk-off victory by the Grizzly. That was in game 1 of yesterday's doubleheader. They would beat the Bombers there in the bottom of the 7th. The Chill and Power would play in game 2, and that was just
Pitching clinic
an
right there.
an absolute pitcher's duel as this ball is bounded out to the shortstop on a couple of hops, and Kadrian Russ takes care of it on the routine ground ball. So 3 up, 3 down. It's a clean inning for Jack Silva. 1, 2, 3 go the Canada A's as we go to the top of the second with the Lumberjacks leading 2-0.
Weingarten, our third generation. off the
Rich
second
Glessner
inning,
alongside
Oregon
Andres
Lumberjacks.
Tejeda.
Fielder, number 11.
As we go to the top half of the second, 2-0. This is the score. Oregon Lumberjacks out in front on 2 hits. And it'll be Killian Bloat to lead it off for them. He's in center field after a pretty big first inning to get them on the board. They would start that rally with 2 outs. Dickey kept things alive with a single, back-to-back hit batsman, and then Omar Ortiz-Vasquez with a single and 2 RBIs. So Bloat in a 1-0 count here as he swings and misses on the breaking ball from Suzuki, who really likes to rely on that pitch. Not going to see a heavy dose of fastballs. Really likes to use that long bending curveball, more of a slurve, if you will. Coming set here, 1-1 is the count. Brings this pitch and a swing and a miss. Again, took something off.
Killian Bloat batting .364 with 4 hits, all of them singles and RBI. Came across to score 4 times, hit by a pitch, walked twice, and struck out once so far in the Cal Winter League, as we're just around the halfway point of the league.
Swinging in a ground ball here. Aaron Ushry tries to slide and keep it in front, but he cannot. So it'll be a single for Bloat as he shoots it through the 6-5 gap into left field on the ground.
Yeah, that 6-5 gap has been where most of the base hits all month long. I've really found their homes, and that's where all the stats are piling up right in between that 6 and 5 hole.
Vastly different arms on the mound today compared to that second of the doubleheader yesterday between Scamboluri and Galindo. Those guys, 2 of the better pitchers in this California Winter League, just filling up the zone with fastballs. And in the early going so far here, Silva and Suzuki really relying on their breaking stuff.
Galindo entered the game with a 0 ERA and 10 innings pitched. He would not finish the game that way.
Runner is moving. It's going to be a stolen base for Killian Bloat. No throw down as Jeremy McKenzie swung and missed. So 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out here, top of the second. Lumberjacks lead it 2-0. As McKenzie awaits another pitch, swinging and hitting this one in the air to left field. Moving in just a tad over there is going to be the left fielder, Deshard Kimbrough, who makes the play for the first out.
It hustled and Kimbrough to come down and pick that ball up as we now get to the top of the lineup for
So we'll go back to the top here, and it'll be Kadrian Russ. He struck out swinging back in the first. There is now 1 down here, top of the second. Trying to bring in another run as Suzuki brings a breaking ball, and Russ just leaves it be in the dirt. Catching behind the plate will be Connor Donahue, so he'll have his work cut out for him, trying to keep all the breaking balls in front. Try to pluck them out of the dirt as this ball is in there for a strike. Looked like the fastball from Suzuki. A couple of more signings that we were notified about, so I believe we're up to about 12 to 15 guys signed as this ball is tapped back up the middle. Walker Paz is going to make the play and throw out Kadrian Russ at first. Killian Bloat was running on the pitch, so he moves up to third easily on the ground out. And now there's 2 down here in the top of the second.
a nice little hit and run there. Slow ground ball to the second baseman, Walker Paz. A nice throw over, but Peter got over, and Jesse Russo tried to bring him in.
Russo is 0 for 1. He grounded out to the shortstop, Ushry, his first time around. Hitting from the left side as he awaits with 2 outs. First pitch in is outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Lumberjacks trying to add on to those 2 runs, with Killian Bloat 90 feet away from scoring the 3rd run, as Russo swinging and lofting it in the air down the left field line and well foul. Quieter day here today. It was really sunny out yesterday. Today we have some cloud coverage. No wind at all. It's amazing the difference, with playoff football on yesterday, just the buzz in the air, and today it just feels very quiet.
Yeah, 2 great games yesterday.
Great games, especially if you're not a Chiefs fan. Again, I'm
Sorry, Mitch.
Yeah, I'm from Kansas City, so that one kind of stung a little bit, but
still one heck of a win.
gotta love Joe Burrow though for Cincinnati. I don't know if there's anybody cooler in sports. Rocking the shades and the diamonds, and here's a 2-1 to Russo, who takes, and it'll be 3-1. Pretty flashy guy. Obviously, NFL guys and NBA guys, usually more flashy than MLB guys, who are typically more quiet. As we get a strike here to Russo.
I think the loudest and flashiest guys I've ever seen are probably Tatis Jr. with that old Padres medallion that spins the goal whenever they hit a homer. A lot of guys have a lot of flair. Jock Peterson with the pearls.
Here's a foul ball. Yeah, I'm always surprised to see that, and how do you keep those pearls on? Those things are going to explode at some point. I remember, who was it? It was a pitcher for the Astros, and forgetting the name now. That was a couple years ago. His diamond necklace broke on the mound.
I remember that.
Yep.
They had picking up individual diamonds. Although Peterson's...
Here's a ground ball back up the middle. That's Walker Paz. Fields it on the high chopper, and he makes the play. We'll continue that discussion as we move along. No runs across in the top of the second. They leave a man stranded at third. Score is still 2-0, though, in favor of the Lumberjacks as we go to the bottom of the second.
Get well.
Two to nothing is our score. The Lumberjacks leading here early on. We go to the bottom half of the second. This will be Connor Donahue, the big right-handed hitter for the Canada A's. He'll lead it off, followed by another big righty in Pernell Chaplin and Travis McFarland.
Donahue batting .300, only 3 hits, 2 doubles, a single, 4 RBIs, 3 runs, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts.
Takes ball 1 here. The Canada A's went 1-2-3 in the first, nothing doing. They're still hitless as Silva deals. This ball in on the hand, sounded like he broke the bat. Drew Thomas moving in from third, and he throws it away. So moving up to second will be Donahue. It'll be an error on the third baseman. And just like that, the A's have a runner in scoring position on 1 pitch.
Stepping up to the plate.
Yeah, he took way too many steps coming across the diamond. It's so simple. You charge it, you pick it up with your bare hand, or you play it on the ground, and you do a step and throw to first. That shouldn't be an error.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of guys at third. They try to make it look a little bit more flashy, trying to go with the running throw, across the body, and always want to try and set your feet and give yourself a good shot to deliver a strike over to first. Here's a strike to Chaplin.
I remember the scouts out here, the coaches, they just want to know that you can do the simple things right. And sure, you want to be flashy and impress them that you can do that, but that'll come with time. But you got to be able to do the simple things first.
So it'll be 0-1 to Chaplin, who awaits. This ball is spun off to the right side in front of the dugout of the Lumberjacks. For strike two. 0-2, nobody out. Canada A's trying to play to run across and get back into this ball game early on. They trail 2-0. Still no hits after the error. As Chaplin awaits, waving the bat out in front of home plate. And Silva looking back at second, and now he'll bring the 0-2. Pitch is high on a fastball, and Chaplin leaves it be for ball one. 1-2 is the count. Right fielder Dickey is playing rather shallow over there in right. Center and left are pretty average depth. Normal on the infield as Russo and Russ pad the glove by second, and Silva deals a curveball that it misses upstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Chaplin working his way back into a good hitter's count, or back into the count, I should say.
That's pretty unique because I'm looking at his spray chart. The 2 hits he has in the infield have been to center and to right, and it's been normal depth for the right fielder, so I'm not really sure why he's coming in.
This ball pummeled to center, starting in, and then now taking a few steps back is Killian Bloat, so he makes the play as he throws the ball all the way into third, trying to keep Donahue at second. Donahue stays put there, so it's the first out on the fly out from Chaplin to center field. Still looking for that first hit of the ball game. It'll be Travis McFarland. He is the designated hitter as he will dig in.
Travis McFarland still looking for that hit, so I'm pretty sure that's why he's probably in the DH spot then instead of out in the field. Wants to focus on some hitting today. He's got 5 strikeouts, 3 walks. The catcher's interference, believe it or not.
Silva has allowed 4 doubles, so he will give up extra base hits as McFarland is in an 0-1 count. Dejard Kimbrough awaits on deck. Here's an 0-1 as Silva comes set and kicks and fires. Curveball outside, ball 1. Comparing and contrasting just the pace of the game, both of these pitchers taking their time, trying to get comfortable on the mound. Always interesting to see what works best for pitchers. Obviously, as a defender, you want your guy to work as quickly as possible, but sometimes that's not always the best answer for them to feel comfortable.
We've only played about 30 minutes of baseball thus far as we're in the bottom of the second, so that pace of play is definitely something that we've seen at the big league level, and they're definitely trying to implement here at the California Winter League.
Typically, when you take a little bit longer on the mound as well, you're trying to keep your defense awake by throwing strikes and trying to let hitters get themselves out. As McFarland digs back in, it'll be 1-2 with 1 away and a runner at second. Here's the pitch. High and outside on the fastball. Ball 2, even count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Looking for that first run of the game. The Lumberjacks do lead it 2-0. As Silva takes a long look in, Ortiz Vasquez going through his sequence of signs, and now a 2-2 on the way. Curveball that was hanging in the zone. This is a high fly ball into left. Moving to his left is Baker. He makes the play on the really high fly ball into left. It's a routine play for the second out, though, and Donahue stays put at second.
Yeah, that was a major league fly ball. That was got a little bit of a pain in my neck from looking at it for how high it was out there and for how long it hung.
Number 10,
Comparing and contrasting. Typically, when there's no clouds out here, it actually gives the outfielders a tougher time to see the ball in the deep blue sky, and also with that sun peeking out over the mountain. Seems like they actually find better success at seeing the baseball when it is a little bit cloudy out.
You can see the underside of the ball a little bit easier against the clouds. There's no shadows bugging you either.
So this is Dejard Kimbrough, the left fielder, hitting with 2 outs here, swinging and fouling this one straight back. He was on time with the fastball, but just couldn't barrel it up. It'll be 1 ball and 1 strike with 2 away. Silva doesn't like that baseball. He'll take a new one.
Reminds me of that Reds pitcher who was pitching in the freezing rain, and every ball that the umpire gave him, he tossed it into the dugout. He's like, I don't like it.
Yeah, I do remember that. It was just the revolving door of new baseballs.
Oh yeah.
As Silva will bring a 1-1. Long pause as he looks back. Here's a pitch. Fly ball on the infield. Calling off everybody is Jesse Russo, the second baseman, who squeezes it for the 3rd out. So the Canada A's strand Donahue at second. They're unable to get him home as Silva works out of the jam. The Lumberjacks still lead it 2-0 as we go to the 3rd here in Palm Springs. Back in Palm Springs, the Lumberjacks out to an early lead. 2-0 is our score as we go to the top of the 3rd. Dontavius Dickey will be the lead man, swinging at the first pitch, fouling it away. He's 1 for 1. Also swiped a bag in the first. He was the first run of the game, making his way around on the 2 RBI base hit from Omar Ortiz Vasquez. Kunimasa Suzuki still on the hill for the A's as he brings a slow breaking ball there, and Dickey feasting for it, couldn't hold up as he chases it out of the zone. Strike 2. That curveball looking so appetizing for hitters as it comes in at a very slow velocity. Here's an 0-2. Another real slow breaking ball. That one almost looked like an ephus pitch.
Yeah, that one just barely missed the top of the zone.
That looked like the Zach Greinke flutter ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes, nobody out. Pitch outside on a fastball. That's ball 2, even count, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That Greinke is definitely a character, very unique. See him. Remember they were fixing the mound and he's just sitting behind it. I'm like a kid in right field picking dandelions as he just waits for him.
2-ball, 2-strike pitch on the way, popped up high on the infield. That is the third baseman Carta, who makes the play close to the bag over at third for the first out. So we've seen a couple of really high fly balls so far in this game.
Goodness.
Carta takes care of it. That one almost went out of our view here in the box. We almost
bend over in my chair. Just gotta like see the underside of the ball there.
a couple of big league pop-ups. This is a routine play though for Carta at third as he made the play, and now it'll be Drew Thomas who stands in. 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, the infield, especially with the sun not really being out, it's hiding behind the clouds. The infield still looks a little wet as this ball is fouled straight back. Looks pretty wet over by the second base area and the third base area.
Yeah, the grass does look greener on the infield. The foul ball area territory looking a little bit drier.
That is one thing we haven't seen yet, are the sprinklers turning on during the game.
You know, at the rate we're going, I wouldn't be surprised if we see that on the last day of the Cal Winter League. We've already seen the 5-pitch ball on 3 separate occasions. Saw a triple play the other day, too.
And I only bring it up because I know that it will happen.
Poor infielders are going to get soaked.
Looking into my crystal ball, I can sense it any day now.
Those sprinklers actually are used to dampen the infield, the actual dirt.
3 balls and 2 strikes is the count to Drew Thomas. That's somebody that I've never really gotten the chance to talk to, especially like at the big league level, as this ball is grounded to third, hit hard on the ground. Carta fields it after he kept it in front. Throw is not going to be in time. And we try to figure out error or hit. And we're going to be nice to Carta over there. That'll be a single for Drew Thomas. So
I think it's a good single. He kept it in front of him, threw it on a line, and Thomas just beat the throw.
So now it'll be Greg Vaughn Jr., one of the better hitters in this league. Hit by a pitch his first time around. He's one of those hitters that his stats really don't show it, but he is one of the more polished hitters in this league as the runner tries to move up to second, and a stolen base for Drew Thomas. Donahue's throw a little bit late. So now Thomas is in scoring position. Let's see here. Vaughn Jr., just 1 hit in 17 at-bats. So really hasn't had much to show for it, but a lot of his balls in play have been absolutely just ripped. As he lets this ball hit the dirt, Donahue stays in front of it. 2 balls, no strikes. We've seen that on several occasions, though, in the Cal Winter League so far. Guys that have been slumping, and then all it takes is that 1 hit to really jumpstart him as Vaughn takes down low.
Yeah, I got him with only 2 hits, a double and a single, but he does have those 5 RBIs that came in the other day. That bases clearing double and advancing to third on the error. So he can hit in situations where he's needed. It's been tough for him lately.
We'll see if he's free swinging on 3-0. Here's the pitch. Down and outside, so Vaughn will take a walk, and that's one of those walks in frustration as he flipped the bat. You can tell he really, really just wants to get aboard by way of hit instead of walking, but he'll keep the inning going here with runners now at first and second after the walk.
That's a tough one to get because you got guys who are pitching to show their stuff, and you want an opportunity to hit, and he didn't really have any pitches that he could really barrel a ball on.
Can definitely relate to Vaughn there. You obviously want to help out and get aboard by a walk, but obviously more satisfying to get aboard by way of hitting the baseball as Drew Thomas swipes third on a terrific jump. Suzuki was unable to hold the runner at second. So 2 stolen bases now in the inning for Drew Thomas, who is now at third base.
Yeah, only just one steal, wasn't a double steal. I'm not sure why Vaughn didn't take off. I'm not sure if he got the sign or that was all Thomas on his own wanting to take over third and try to help his guys out as Vasquez looking for his third RBI today. He's already got 2.
So Ortiz Vasquez hits. Here he's already 1 for 1 with a single and 2 RBIs. Another opportunity here to drive in more runs as he takes inside ball 1.
Nice, had a little 2 for 2 with 3 RBIs. That puts you in the running for player of the game, as there's only been 2 runs.
That score still staying put at 2-0 here, top of the third. 1 away as Suzuki deals. Vaughn takes off for second, and he has the base stolen easily. Could have walked into second, so Suzuki not mixing up his looks well enough to keep the runners staying put.
Yeah, that breaking ball really just, that was in the air for a while. It just kind of floated, as you mentioned, that Ephus pitch. It was in the air for a long time.
3 balls and no strikes. Pitch is outside, so Ortiz Vasquez will take a walk to keep the inning alive, and they'll load up the bases here with only 1 out. Now it looks like Paul Nochi's going to go out and talk to his man on the hill. Nobody warming in the bullpen for the A's.
We'll run Suzuki's stats real quick. He has struggled as of late. In his first game, he finished with a 10 ERA, 10.5 ERA. He's pitched 10 2/3 innings. He's finished with a 6.562 ERA coming into the game. He has 11 strikeouts, 7 walks, and he's given up 10 earned runs on 16 runs, 17 hits. He's lost in every. He's taken the loss in every appearance. He's 0-3, which is a tough situation for him, especially since he's traveling all the way from Japan.
Struggling early on in this game as well, with the Lumberjacks knocking on the door and the bases loaded. They already lead it by 2 as Suzuki deals to Chris Baker, who is 0 for 1. He flied out to center his first time around.
It's the 5th pitch called for a ball in a row.
So Suzuki trying to get back on track as he deals a 1-0. Baker taking all the way outside, so Suzuki right around the plate with the fastball, but just not able to get it across for a strike.
Actually, excuse me, that's 10 consecutive pitches with that last pitch falling for a ball.
Baker awaits. Ball is inside. Great job by Donahue to keep it in front. Sliding to his knees and picking it out of the dirt on the backhand. It's one of the toughest plays as a catcher to make. Typically you want to drop to the knees and keep it in front with the chest, but sometimes you're forced to just pick it out of the dirt, but Donahue does a great job there. 3 balls and no strikes. Here's the pitch. This one is in for a strike.
Finally, a strike call after. It's at 11 pitches that miss consecutively for balls. That's a tough stat there.
Suzuki started out the inning just fine, getting Dontavius Dickey to pop out to the third baseman.
Go ahead.
A single from Thomas and now back-to-back walks puts him in a tough spot.
Yeah, I don't blame Chris Baker taking all the way here. He found himself in a 3-2 count.
So 3 balls, 2 strikes. He'll look for a fastball here. Instead, it's a breaking ball. Kept in front over at first is Chaplin, who throws home, and the throw is not in time.
It was definitely in time. He just threw it offline. His foot didn't touch the bag.
So unable to keep the footing is Donahue, and that'll be an error on the throw. Or perhaps maybe the catcher. We'll discuss that possibly in between the break, but we're going to give it on the throw. So a throwing error, and that actually does not look like Chaplin over at first.
The center fielder, number
It
11.
could be Colton Kendrick over there, not exactly sure,
McFarland.
or McFarland, yes. So that is going to be an error on McFarland. And now it is Killian Bloat.
You You got to be able to make that throw home.
Sometimes it's hard for the catcher to really. It's actually a tougher play than what you would think. It is very difficult for the catcher typically to make sure that their foot is on home plate. Obviously, you have the raised bags around the diamond.
Mm-hmm.
But at home, obviously, working with that flat surface, sometimes it's difficult for them to really figure out where they exactly are on the plate.
And not only that, but the catcher really didn't set himself up well to receive a pitch or a throw that way. It could have also been the throw from McFarland, but Donahue behind the plate, he was in the right-handed batter's box, but in the backside. You want to be in play. You want to be in fair territory for that because you want the ball to be inside there so then you don't get a throw that's wild and you aren't coming off the bag that you can still have that footing.
It's one of those rare plays, so typically catchers don't really get a lot of practice at doing it just because it's more of a rarity to try and get the force out at home. So
that's definitely happened to me when I played in high school. Catcher is a tough position.
This pitch is in for a strike as Killian Bloat tries to get some reassurance from the home plate umpire. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Back-to-back full counts as Suzuki deals to Bloat. Here's a pitch. Breaking ball is down in the dirt, so he'll walk home a run, and we're gonna roll over this inning. So 2 more runs come across as the Lumberjacks now extend their lead. Score is 4-0 on their 4 hits. The Canada A's coming to bat in the bottom of the 3rd. They're still hitless as they search for their first run of the ball game. We go to the home half of the 3rd after that top half was rolled over. Suzuki was unable to get out of it. Score is 4-0 in favor of the Lumberjacks with Jack Silva back out to the mound. The southpaw deals strike 1 to the lead man, Aaron Ushery. First plate appearance for him, it'll be Walker Paz to follow, then Travius Ford. Back to the top. This ball is looped into center field. It's going to hang up there just long enough for Killian Bloat, who squeezes it. Quick first out for Ushery as Silva continues to get outs early on in counts.
Stepping up to the plate for the A's.
Yeah, that was a nice run from Bloat to come on.
Walker
I was
Paz!
going to make a comment on Kunimasa Suzuki's outing. I think he may be done. He's at 69 pitches, just a little over half of those pitches fall for strikes. Gave up 4 hits on 4 runs. Only 3 of them earned, as one came on the error in the last inning from the first baseman. And he only is going to get 1 strikeout and 3 walks. That's if his day is done, which I would assume it is based off that pitch count.
So Suzuki still struggling on the mound for the A's. As Andres mentioned earlier, he is 0-3 so far in his 3 starts. And unfortunately, right now he would be in line for another loss, as Walker Paz hits in an 0-1 count, takes outside, 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd.
And unfortunately, he started in 2 games. This would be his 3rd. And it's tough when you got a guy like that. His last outing only lasted 2 2/3 innings. You gave up 6 hits, 5 runs, 3 of them earned, 2 walks, 3 strikes, and he hit 1 batter in that one. Hit 2 batters today, so it's just been a really tough go for Suzuki in the first half of the Cal Winter League.
2 balls and a strike here to Paz, who takes for a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Trying to figure out exactly why our stats are so drastically far off.
It could be off just because we've been trying to line everything up. We wear many hats, Mitch. We wear so many hats here at the Cal Winter League. Outside of doing play-by-play color, public address announcing, you'll hear Josh Sperber, who's on the mic, being the voice of Palm Springs Stadium today. You'll hear him later tonight, this afternoon. But most of the games are entered correctly into Point Streak, and so I'm going based off of my own little catalog here with the Game Changer app.
So Walker Paz will take a walk, kind of alluding to helping out in all facets of the ballpark. If you joined on a little bit late, had the opportunity to interview Noah Fish. He's our marketing director, so trying to shine a light on a lot of the, all of the workers around the ballpark that make this operation run.
Well, absolutely.
And he's obviously very involved with all of our social media. If you haven't checked out that social media, you can find it at Cal Winter League on Twitter, on Instagram, California Winter League, and then on Facebook, California Winter League. As this ball scoots by the catcher, Ortiz Vasquez, and moving up to second is Paz.
I think that's going to be a pass ball. Wasn't a ball in the dirt, he just couldn't catch it.
So pass ball charged to the catcher. Travius Ford is the hitter. But yes, he does a great job with all of our graphics. I highly recommend. I'm more of an Instagram guy myself, but highly recommend checking it out.
Yeah, I watched him work back there, and he's on Photoshop making magic happen on the screen.
Absolutely. We'll update with, player updates, game scores, try to update as far as, guys getting signed in the California Winter League, guys from the Power in the summertime who are continuing their careers getting signed. So
I might want to interview both of you guys. Hear about your guys' story and coming into the box, into the booth, actually.
Here is the pitch. Runner moves. Oh, boy. That is a hitter's nightmare there, as Ortiz Vasquez tried to come out and pop out behind Ford. He didn't create a big enough throwing lane, though, and I'm not sure if that clipped. I think it clipped Ford maybe on the shoulder. It sounded like it hit part of the bat, too.
I think it was the bat, and the force of the ball hitting the bat dug into his shoulder. Because he didn't move and he didn't get out of the way, and so the umpires are going to convene here before they can give a final verdict, as it's going to be Paz still at third. I'm not sure that's going to be batter interference.
I don't believe it is, because Ford he has an obligation in the box. It's not like he was stepping out to impede on the throwing lane. So this should be a fairly easy call, I would guess, as now we have our athletic trainers who are going to go maybe check on Ford, maybe just ask him if he's okay real quick. So they do just rule it that it's going to be a stolen base for Paz. Ortiz Vasquez, again, trying to use that drop step to create a bigger throwing lane, but was unable to do so. Good thing Ford is okay.
It just looks a little shaken up, but a ball coming at your head that close from a catcher with a strong arm, Glad to know he's okay.
So it'll be 3 balls and no strikes. Silva to the plate, and Ford will take a walk as he will head down to first with 1 out. Runners at the corners now. The Canada A's looking for their first run. They do trail 4-0. Now that'll bring up Adrian Pizzana, the right fielder. He is 0 for 1. He grounded out to third his first time around. Canada A's still searching for their first hit in this game. They've only had a couple of guys on base in this game. In this inning now, Walker Paz with the walk, Ford with the walk. Before that, the only base runner was Connor Donahue, who reached on an error by Drew Thomas over at third.
We also had the 2 hit by pitches as well. Oh no, pause. That was the other side of the book I'm looking at. But yeah, you're right. The A's have not had the pleasure to have too many base runners, as you already said. Only 4 hits in this game going to the Jacks.
Time called as Ortiz Vasquez steps out from behind the plate and gives a first and third game plan for the defense. Ford is a threat to run. Good wheels for him at first. We'll see if they just allow him to steal the base or how they go about that. As he now takes off. Pickoff attempt at first. Ford got a great jump, and now stealing as well will be Paz. So Ford gets the easy steal, and because of that, took too long for the Lumberjacks trying to get Ford out at second, and Walker Paz with the heads-up base running at third to score the first run for the A's.
That's going to be called. That's a stolen base. That's a stolen base to home.
A double steal there. Great base running by Paz, who didn't go initially. He had to make sure that the Lumberjacks were going to throw over to second to try to get Ford. They did. And now racing for third is Ford. So Ford with another stolen base. And the A's are in business here.
That is a tough break. McKenzie at first needs to throw that ball a little bit harder. He kind of just looped it. I'm not sure why he didn't hold on to it when you got a runner on third.
So the Canada A's bring a run across with no hits still in the ball game. Great base running from Paz. That's probably some of the better base running that we've seen so far in the Winter League.
Oh, absolutely.
Very, very smart over there, not going immediately and then finding the right time and crossing the plate. So 4-1 is our score. The Lumberjacks still lead it by 3 runs as Pizzana is in a 1-2 count with 1 away. Ford with 2 stolen bases as he is now at third base. And Silva looks in, gets the sign. Now he's set, ready to deal. 1-2 on the way. This ball grounded over towards the third base side, but foul.
Yeah, see, that's what you got to do when you're struggling at the dish as a team. You got to make scoring opportunities, and those stolen bases are definitely going to help out.
So Silva will try to work out of it as there is now action in the bullpen for the Lumberjacks. There's a pitch in there for a strike called, and that is strike number 3 on Pizzana. So he is down looking for the second out here in the bottom of the third. So it'll be up to Antonio Carta with Ford at third. Still searching for that first hit of the game. Carta grounded out to the shortstop his first time around. First pitch swung on and fouled. Somehow Vasquez, oh no, never mind, it's at his feet. I thought he caught it on the ricochet.
No, that hit off of the umpire, home plate umpire, and then underneath Vasquez.
Looks like it's Adrian Sanchez in the bullpen. 5'10" righty for the Lumberjacks. No balls and a strike to Carta, who awaits, and now the pitch up high for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I'm surprised to see no one in the A's bullpen after Suzuki's start.
Guys are moving around down there, getting loose, but nobody actually up and throwing. Carta awaits a 1-1 as Silva brings it home. This ball is lofted in the air and well foul. did get some exciting baseball news as far as if you like to play video games on this with
love it.
Shohei Ohtani will be the cover guy for MLB The Show.
You could have guessed that. If I was a betting man, I'd probably get a couple bucks on that bet.
Yeah, you and Josh were dead on. I went with Jacob deGrom because I always feel like it's going to be the guy you think it is until it isn't. This ball is hit in the air well to right center field. It's going to get by Killian Bloat, who is giving chase. It doesn't make its way to the warning track just in front, but it's down out there as Carta is in easily with a stand-up double. Travius Ford scores easily, and now the deficit is cut in half as the A's played another run. They trail by 2 now. It's 4-2.
They finally get that hit. That elusive first hit in the game finally coming off the bat and splits the gap for the A's as they cut the gap between the scoring just down to half. It's a 2-run lead for the Jacks.
So now it'll be Connor Donahue, who is 0 for 1. He did reach on the air in the second. Hit the ball hard his first time around as he takes ball 1. First real noise of the ball game. Coming off the bat of Carta, who stands in scoring position now. Silva deals in the dirt. Vasquez keeps it in front. But yes, I was going with Jacob deGrom. Last year was Tatis on the cover. Always feel like they flip-flop or try to, balance out pitchers and hitters. Shohei Ohtani was just too easy of a choice, though, after the year he had. Here's a swing and a miss. He was pretty easy favorite for the MVP, as he would win the American League MVP. Bryce Harper winning the National League MVP. So Donahue now will hit as Silva looks back at the runner at second. Swing and a miss from Donahue. Big cut there, trying to trade places out there with Carta, who's in scoring position. Two balls, 2 strikes, and even count. 2 away here in the bottom half of the third. Scores 4-2 as Silva will bring an even count pitch of 2-2. Kicks, deals, and that ball is high. Donahue taking that pitch. Almost went to the Juan Soto shuffle as he waved the bat out as he took the pitch. So Silva trying to work out of the jam here. Pretty clean through the first 2 innings and running into trouble here. He's going to strike out Donahue swinging to end the frame. So the A's do get 2 back as they cut the deficit in half. The score is 4-2 here in Palm Springs. We'll head to the 4th. Keep it right here for more California Winter League action.
5, Jeremy McKenzie.
Jeremy McKenzie will be the lead man here for the Lumberjacks. Top of the fourth we go, as the sun now peeks out from behind the clouds. And taking strike one in the first pitch of the top half of the fourth here is McKenzie, 0-1. McKenzie flied out to left his first time around.
Still looking for his first hit in the Cal Winter League, as this one's inside. And I was talking to Jeremy a few days ago, and like I said in I think yesterday's game, or the last game of the Jacks 2 days ago, he loves baseball. He's traveled to about two-thirds of the game of the ballparks.
It's ball down the line and foul.
That is the hardest hit ball we've seen this year from him.
Well out in front of the fastball. Yeah, obviously, for most baseball fans, it's a dream to visit every ballpark possible.
Mm-hmm. I've been able to visit at least a third. Not go to games at all of them. I visited, I believe, 6 ballparks, but I've seen about 12 or 13.
Here's a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Swing and a miss. Chase the curveball up in the zone. Down on strikes is McKenzie for the strikeout, and that is just Suzuki's second strikeout of the game. He's found himself struggling, especially in that last frame in the third, where 2 runs would come across as he was laboring there, but off to a good start here in the fourth. So now Kadrian Russ will come to bat. He was the other strikeout in the game back in the first. He's 0 for 2. He also grounded out in the second to second base. Showing bunt here, but pulling it back and taking strike one.
That's a good pitch to pull back a bunt on. That's right in the top of your hands, right underneath the knuckles. Gotta take that. Just gotta take the strike there.
Here's the pitch in there for a strike. Quickly 0-2. Suzuki trying to work quickly here as he leans in, finds a sign, comes set and deals. Kick. Firing this ball. Hits softly into center field. That's going to be a base hit for Kadrian Russ, who battles with 2 strikes, and he's aboard with 1 out here in the top of the fourth.
Heading up to the plate, the second baseman, number
Fastball in on the hands, and he
Russo.
muscles it up enough to get it back through the middle of the field into center field. So Jesse Russo will now hit with Russ aboard at first. Russo 0 for 2, a couple of ground outs. And a threat to steal at first base is Russ. Russ will move on the pitch, swing and a miss, and go sliding into second. No throw from Donahue, so stolen base for Kadrian Russ. Great jump there. Suzuki hasn't done a good job so far of holding his runners, as he peeks back now and deals Russo out in front on this pitch and hits it well foul off to the right. Ushery trying to help out Suzuki, the shortstop, trying to at least keep Kadrian Russ close on second there. Russ a threat to steal third base possibly. We'll see if he finds a good pitch to do it here in an 0-2 count with Russo at the plate, and now they'll throw back and the ball kind of squirts away from Ushery. Russ back in safely. No balls and 2 strikes to Jesse Russo at the plate. 1 out with Russ in scoring position. Lumberjacks lead it 4-2 in this game. Suzuki now ready to go. Fires outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Russo trying to extend the lead. Hitting with the runner in scoring position as Suzuki now deals. Russ on the move. Got a great jump, and again, no throw from Donahue. So consecutive bags stolen by Russ with no throws. Just getting great jumps out there. So Russ is now 90 feet away from scoring. As Russo will hit here, another ball hit foul, still 2-2. Action in the pen now for the A's. Finally somebody throwing. That will be Kyle Armsworthy, the sidewinder righty, as he gets loose. Russo hits in a 2-2 count. 1 out, runner at third. Suzuki nods in approval of the sign as he kicks and deals to Russo. Slow breaking ball taken up high. 3 balls, 2 strikes. It'll be a full count. You can kind of tell just by the body language the A's on defense maybe a little flat-footed. Awaiting a ball in play as Russo awaits the pitch. 3-2 on the way. This ball rocketed into right field. Pizzana is going to field it on a couple of bounces. It'll be an RBI single for Russo, who hammers that ball into right.
Great piece of hitting from Russo right there. Just send it in between the gap on a line and putting the Lumberjacks up 5-2.
So Russo gets the RBI base hit. He's now 1 for 3. And the inning extends to Dontavius Dickey with 1 out. Dickey 1 for 2. He singled back in the first. He also scored the first run of the ball game. In on the hands, might have broken the bat, giving chase is Ushry, who fields it on the run in shallow left field. So 2 away here in the top of the 4th after Dickey lines out softly into shallow left.
Number 23, Drew Thomas.
Suzuki started off the inning well with 2 back-to-back strikeouts, but it's just kind of falling apart here.
See if he can get out of this frame. As Drew Thomas digs in, he is 1 for 1. He also was hit by a pitch. A couple of stolen bases for him as he takes inside, getting out of the way of that fastball. 1 ball, no strikes. Score is now 5-2 after the RBI single from Jesse Russo. Kadrian Russ scoring. Lumberjacks getting their 5 runs on 6 hits as this ball is in there for a strike. Even count, 1 ball, 1 strike to Drew Thomas. Suzuki from the stretch, ready to go. 1-1 is hit in the air on the infield. Calling everybody off is the first baseman McFarland, who takes care of that easy pop out to the first baseman. Another run across for the Lumberjacks, though, as they extend their lead by 3 runs now. 5-2 is our score as we go to the home half of the 4th.
Number 29,
Canada A's come to bat here in the bottom of the 4th. They trail it by 3 runs. Scores 5-2. Pernell Chaplin will be the lead man for the A's. It's still Jack Silva on the mound for the Lumberjacks, who has given a pretty good effort so far. Just 2 strikeouts for him, but he's got these guys to make weak contact time and time again. A lot of weak fly balls. 5 fly ball outs coming by the way of the A's. Silva doesn't have an overpowering fastball, but he's been throwing it for strikes consistently in this game, putting himself in a good spot to have success. The Canada A's only 1 hit in this game, that coming in the last frame from Antonio Carta on the RBI double. Chaplin swinging in a foul tip, squeezed by Vasquez Ortiz. Chaplin is 0 for 1. He flied out to center his last time up. More fans filing in here at Palm Springs Stadium, the former home of California Angels back for their spring training site.
Yeah, when I got here and they told me that, I was like, "You're kidding me, right?" It's basically a big league ballpark.
No balls and 2 strikes taken down low.
When I was flying in, I had a layover in Phoenix, Arizona, and I was a big Cub fan. We flew right over Sloan Park, which is the Cubs' home spring training field, and I saw just how big it is. I've always wanted to go to a game there, let alone just see it. And to see the complex they have out there, it was weird because I see the Wrigley Field dimensions with those 2 pockets in left and right. I was like, that's Wrigley Field right there.
Yeah, they do their best job with the spring training sites to kind of mimic the actual home field. I know the Red Sox, they have their mini monster out in left. I was actually lucky enough to go to the Cubs facility the one year that I visited spring training. Chaplin shoots this ball into left, and it is going to be in front of Baker, who went to the slide. Chaplin digging for second. He's going to slam on the brakes, though, as he retreats back to first. Thought about going to second after Baker went to the slide. So it's a base hit for Chaplin, who has now hit the ball hard in 2 plate appearances.
Absolutely. A great effort there by Christopher Baker. Absolutely. You're going to make the play. That's what you got to do. You hit the ball in front of him, which was smart. And so Chaplin just gets the single instead of advancing off of the errant play.
Good effort by Baker, unable to make the sliding grab though. Now it'll be Travis McFarland, who is now hitting this ball to left field again. Baker getting his work cut out for him over in left, but again, Andres was able to go to that facility. Beautiful facility.
It looks gorgeous. They got the little grassy outfield out there in the picnic area.
Yep, we sat out on the burn and really good time. I remember it was really nice and sunny that day, although the party was kind of ruined for me. As an 0-1 comes in, foul tip into the mitt. No balls and 2 strikes to the hitter, McFarland. Party was kind of ruined for me personally because that was the year Chris Bryant was coming up for the Cubs. Chris Bryant, one of my favorite players in all of baseball. And I was so excited. I was like, oh boy, this is going to be awesome. I'm going to get the chance to see Chris Bryant play. This is going to be awesome. And then, just one of those typical spring training games, and he wasn't able to make his way into the ball game as McFarland goes down looking here on strikes.
I feel your frustration there. That's now the frustration of all Cub fans. They won't be able to see Chris Bryant play at Wrigley anymore until he comes and visits from the West Coast.
So now it'll be Desjard Kimbrough, although Chris Bryant, one of the free agents, not signed yet, Andres, so there still is hope.
Don't give me that.
Still is hope for Cubs fans. As Desjard Kimbrough takes in the dirt, they throw behind Chaplin, and he is out. So back picking at first is Vasquez Ortiz, and Chaplin caught napping over at first for the second out.
Great heads-up play there by Vasquez to pick it from the dirt and throw it over to first and get Chaplin, who's napping out there.
2-3 put out. Boy, he was just
I'm witty and
caught asleep over there.
My goodness.
So I can keep. I did it by myself when I did the tournaments.
So a good job
I'd say stuff like first thing in the morning.
by the
top of
catcher
the
Vasquez
stairs,
Ortiz,
what's
flashing
up?
the
I
leather.
go, just got off the radio. Just got off the
Kimbrough
weather station.
at
We're
the
looking
plate.
at 98 today. Relative humidity 12.
I'm just at a loss for words how good that play was.
There's a strike to Desjard Kimbrough.
Like Wilson Contreras back there.
Yeah, dude, good old back pick. The snap throw down to first and a good tag over there by McKenzie. This ball is grounded back up the middle, moving to the backhand and throwing on the run is Russo. A great play. So back-to-back outs flashing the leather. This time it's Russo making the throw on the run as he was moving to his right. A tremendous play there by the second baseman after Vasquez Ortiz made the tremendous play. So flashing the leather are the Lumberjacks, who are in command of this game. They lead at 5-2 as we go to the fifth here in Palm Springs.
Oh, this 1-year-old.
Back in Palm Springs, Mitch Glessner alongside Andres Tejeda. 5-2 is our score with the home team hitting now. The Lumberjacks in control of this one. This will be Greg Vaughn. Excuse me, the visiting team. As Vaughn takes strike one. Vaughn is 0 for 0. 2 plate appearances. He's been hit by a pitch and walked. New pitcher on the mound for the Canada A's. This is Kyle Armsworthy, the sidewinding righty, dealing to Greg Vaughn, who is still searching for a hard hit base hit. We were talking about that his last time at the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Armsworthy deals a strike here. 1-2 will be the count. 5-2 in favor of the Lumberjacks. A couple of really good defensive plays to close out that bottom of the fourth. Jesse Russo running to his right. The second baseman made a great play after the catcher Vasquez Ortiz made a nice snap throw to first. So the pitcher for the Lumberjacks, Jack Silva, getting some help from his defense. Greg Vaughn Jr. is the designated hitter, typically in the outfield, but today in that spot as he grounds softly to shortstop. Aaron Ushery making the play. Actually, we've got all the defensive changes for the A's.
Yeah, Paz moved over there.
So that was Walker Paz, and a good dig over at first.
Next up for the Jacks.
And that looks like that is no longer McFarland.
Omar Ortiz Vasquez.
I believe over there that's Colton Kendrick now, so good play there defensively as Vaughn is out on the ground out for the first out. So now it'll be Omar Ortiz Vasquez. See if his good defense can carry over into good offense as he takes strike one. He's 1 for 1, so he already has produced offensively. The 2 RBI single back in the first to plate the first 2 runs of the ball game. Swinging and missing here, no balls and 2 strikes. 2 runs in the first for the Jacks, scoreless in the second, then 2 more in the third and 1 in the fourth. The 2 runs for the Canada A's coming in the bottom half of the third. And that is where we currently stand as Armsworthy will bring an 0-2. Slider and checking up his swing, barely holding up his Ortiz Vasquez, so he'll take the ball there. Pretty close pitch on the outer third. Chris Baker awaits on deck as Armsworthy leans over and comes set in the closed stance. Grounded back up the middle. Armsworthy fields it on a bounce. Underhands it over to first for the second out. So 2 ground outs to start here in the top of the 5th.
And I'll get you that defensive lineup here. It's Rutledge in left, Fukuda in center, Brunson in right. O'Neill goes to third. Paz stays in the game but goes over to short. Eddie McCabe at second, Colton Kendrick at first. And apologies, that's Kendrick at first, and Colton Traeger behind the dish with Armsworthy at the dish.
Here's a strike to open up Chris Baker's at-bat. He is 0 for 2. Reached on an error back in the third. The lefty awaits, and he takes outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Armsworthy almost doing his best Craig Kimbrell impersonation as he leans over to retrieve his signs and comes set closed as he deals outside, missing the strike zone here. 2 balls and a strike to Baker, the left-handed hitter. Lumberjacks leading 5-2. As Armsworthy brings a 2-1, this ball taps softly over to first. That is Kendrick who fields it on the hop, and he takes it over to the bag himself for the third out. So 3 up, 3 down, a clean inning there from Kyle Armsworthy, getting 3 easy ground outs as the Lumberjacks go down in the top of the 5th with nothing doing. They still lead it though 5-2 as we go to the bottom of the 5th here in Palm Springs.
Welcome back to the California Winter League.
Need help, Mitch?
Alrighty,
Silva still back on the mound.
just adjusting some stats there. So we are back as this ball is outside. This will be the lead man, Collier Rutledge. Pardon that break. So he will be the lead man in a 1-ball, no strike count. Silva still on the mound for the Lumberjacks, getting a great effort out of him today. Probably haven't talked enough about his effort today, Andres.
Oh, absolutely not. I do want to make a note. It's a very important day in baseball. The birthdays of two just legendary ball players, and Jackie Robinson and Ernie Banks today. Both baseball legends and huge contributors to the civil rights movement into sports. Jackie Robinson being the first African-American player to play in Major League Baseball, coming from the Negro Leagues, and
Obviously very important as this ball is hit into left, a routine play out there for Baker for the first out.
and Ernie Banks being the first MLB player in the National League for the Cubs.
The shortstop, number 2, Walker.
I was on Twitter earlier today, and the Cubs at Marquee Sports Network posted this just great video showing who Mr. Cub was when he was at the ballpark, talking to staff and players. And it was actually the day that they were honoring Sammy Sosa breaking the all-time Cub home run record. It was just a great video, just showcasing the man that he was. And I wish we had more videos of Robinson like that. Obviously, we have the video of him stealing home, which is historic, which I believe also happened at Wrigley Field.
Yeah, the very famous steal of home, and I believe it was Yogi Berra who jumps up and he's all frustrated with the call. Just a classic video and picture.
I'm not sure if it was even called Wrigley Field at that time. Maybe it was Weigman Park at that point.
I was unaware that happened at Wrigley.
Oh, I remember that happening at Wrigley. Not that I was there, but
Right.
Yes, you were.
So this is Walker Paz as we, or at least I try to square away all the substitution. The A's, one of those teams that will basically swap everybody in the fifth. As Paz takes a strike here, 3 balls, 2 strikes. He shakes his head in disapproval of that call. As Andres had mentioned, he shifted over to the shortstop position. Here's Silva bringing a 3-2. In there for strike 3. Ring him up. Walker Paz down on strikes for the second out here in the 5th.
yeah, that was just a good pitch. Silva was able to paint the corners in that at-bat as he reaches the 70 pitch mark here. I think after this inning we may see him exit, as it's now Messiah Fukuda, the new leadoff hitter. I'll try to get some stats on him.
So Fukuda in to hit in place of Travius Ford. Trying to figure out where Fukuda will be defensively.
He'll be in
He will move to center field as this ball is taken for a strike. The umpire looking to expand the zone a little bit here. Paz was not too fond of the call that rung him up. Here's the pitch on the way, fouled off to the left side.
Fukuda still looking for his first hit. He's had 8 at-bats, 1 RBI. He's been hit by a pitch. Reached on an error, reached on a fielder's choice, and 3 walks and 4 strikeouts.
1 ball and 2 strikes as Fukuda hits here. Silva trying to go through 5 clean as he brings this one high out of the zone for a ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Silva so far doing it by getting guys out with the weak contact. Just 3 strikeouts in this game for the southpaw as he brings this ball in the dirt and trying to work through this 5th frame.
He's got 4 strikeouts.
Only 2 runs across for the A's. 3 balls and 2 strikes to the left-handed hitter. Lefty on lefty. Here's the pitch. Swung on and tapped out to second base, running in, and the glove flip is in time.
Oh, my.
Another tremendous play by Jesse Russo in back-to-back innings. So a great play there. He gets the glove flip over to first to beat Fukuda to the bag, and that'll do it in the bottom half of the 5th for the Canada A's, who still trail it by 3 runs, 5-2 as we go to the 6th.
Welcome back to the California Winter League. Andre Saheta here with Mitch Glessner. Killian Bloat coming up, and he hits one off of the mound, and it hits off of McCabe's glove into center field for a first pitch swinging leadoff base hit. That was ripped. Fukuda tosses it in, and it'll now be Jeremy McKinney.
The first baseman,
Apologies,
number
McKenzie.
5, Jeremy McKenzie.
I believe we already gave you that new defensive substitution. We'll give you one more time. Rutledge, Fukuda, and Brunson left to right in the outfield as McKenzie will take strike 1. It's O'Neill, Paz, McCabe, Kendrick left to right on the infield. Traeger behind the plate, and Armsworthy back in action on the mound. 0-1 count to McKenzie, runner on first, and Killian Bloat firing home. This one hits off the end of the bat, down the line from the seat of his pants. He makes the throw. Did he get him? Yes, he did. Armsworthy coming down the mound, falling as he picks up the ball and throws from the seat of his pants to get McKenzie out.
Thank you very much, Andres, for taking over there briefly, trying to get all those defensive subs in. What a play there, coming off the hill and fielding his position.
Absolutely. We saw a similar play yesterday. That was Juan Martinez. He came on the other side down the first base line doing a very similar play, but I don't think he made the play there. But just great athleticism by Armsworthy there. Oh my.
Always a pleasure to see pitchers fielding their position and doing it well. One of my favorite guys to watch is Marcus Stroman. He is very athletic. Pitchers, oftentimes, they don't get noted for their athleticism.
Yeah, if we get a season, which I'm very hopeful that we do, I cannot wait to see Stroman at Wrigley.
Yeah, a great addition for them. He was one of the better free agent starters available. Along with, let's see, I'm blanking on some names, along with Kevin Gossman.
Oh, yeah.
This ball is lifted into right. We'll see if it falls. It does. Just barely over the head of Kendrick. The throw will come into the plate. So it'll be a bloop single, back-to-back base hits in plate appearances for Kadrian Russ.
Great, just put the bat on the ball and it floats over to Kendrick for a base hit, runners at the corners. I'm going to try to see if I can pull a line. Online list. Available free agent still on the market.
So the Lumberjacks still lead at 5-2. This will be Jesse Russo, who has flashed the leather defensively. A lot of great plays by him so far today. He grounds this one softly back up the middle. The second baseman, McCabe, tries to flip it for the force at second, but it's too late. So that'll be an error on the second baseman, McCabe, as Killian Bloat comes across to score on the error. Runners at first and second now.
That's a tough one right there for McCabe. The run's going to score.
Number 21,
That flip.
Russo gets credit for the RBI, and now it'll be Dontavius Dickey. So the lead is now extended to 4 runs as the Lumberjacks lead at 6-2. This will be Dontavius Dickey. He has a hit in the ball game, swinging and missing here. The pitch was brought in from the righty Armsworthy, who came in to relieve Suzuki. Suzuki had a rough outing, working through those 4 innings. Here's the pitch. Runner moving. Another great jump.
Goodness.
And I'm not sure what happened there. Traeger looks hurt. The ball is now in left field, and scoring easily is going to be Russ.
Oh boy, we already saw that earlier in the game. Traeger trying to make the throw down to third. Runs into the bat of Dickey as he's shaking his arm. He's into the Canada A's bullpen. Run's going to score as he threw it away. It looks like there might be a defensive change. He's coming out of the game.
I didn't quite, because I was looking up at Russ. I'm not sure exactly what he hit. I think you're right, Andres. I think he did run into the bat.
He had to. The bat was on the ground. It went flying.
Yeah, he's obviously in a lot of pain. He went right over to the dugout there. He's hunched over. So the athletic trainers will be out to check on him. The run does come across, though. It's 7-2 in favor of the Jacks.
Although the umpires are going to convene. They're saying safe all over. So it'll be a stolen base, advance on the error on the throw. The run will score.
So we'll take a quick break as they check on him. Or actually, looks like they're going to move things along. The trainers are going to talk to him off to the side.
Wasn't sure what the pitch was, a ball or a strike, so we're going to have to find out from the home plate umpire.
So the run scores. Again, scores now 7-2 in favor of the Lumberjacks. Kind of a unique Monday feel to this game, which started out pretty quietly. Pretty quiet bats offensively for both teams, even though the Lumberjacks have 8 hits. No extra base hits for the Lumberjacks, all singles. Foul ball in the box. Dontavius Dickey still at the plate. No balls and 2 strikes. 1 away here in the top half of the 6th. 2 runs already across, and the Lumberjacks threatening again with Jesse Russo at second. Swing and a miss. Down on strikes goes Dontavius Dickey for the second out.
So I got a long list of free agents. Here's who's already signed. Manny Pena. These are catchers signed with Atlanta 2-year deal. Jan Gomes signed with the Cubs on a 2-year deal on December 1st. Pedro Severino signed with the Brewers on a 1-year deal. Roberto Perez with Pittsburgh on a 1-year deal.
Here's a strike poured into Drew Thomas. Looks like Danny Fontana is actually the courtesy runner for Jesse Russo at second. No balls and a strike. Swing and a miss here from the batter Drew Thomas, who is 1 for 2. No balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Armsworthy looks in, gets the sign, comes set. Here's the pitch. 0-2 is outside. Ball 1-2. Yeah, we saw a lot of those free agents get plucked away pretty early on, Andres, because the players themselves, they knew that the lockout was coming.
Oh, yeah, I think it was...
The writing was on the wall.
Yeah, it was inevitable. Sandy Leone signing with the new Cleveland Guardians and Brett Sullivan with the Brewers. Brendan Belt signed a qualifying offer from San Francisco. Yoshi Tsutsugo signed with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Marcus Semien, a 7-year deal with Texas.
Yeah, Texas really making the biggest splashes in both Marcus Semien and then Corey Seager, the shortstop.
Yeah. Cesar Hernandez with the Nationals. Luis Garcia with the White Sox for 3 years. Rougned Odor.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my.
That ball is all the way in the other batter's box.
Oh,
Drew
that's
Thomas,
a tough one.
Drew Thomas is down on strikes. That is a tough pill to swallow there.
Oh.
That'll do it for the Jacks in the top half of the 6th. They plate 2 more, and they lead 7-2 as we go to the bottom of the 6th.
Number 15.
We go to the bottom of the 6th. The Canada A's to bat here. They're trailing by 5 runs. Score is 7-2. New pitcher on the mound for the Lumberjacks. This is going to be Adrian Sanchez, the righty, who kicks and deals to McCabe. First pitch swinging, lofts it in the air. Tripping a little bit was the center fielder, Killian Bloat, and he recovers to make a sliding grab. So a miscue at first as he couldn't find his footing, but he makes up for it to make the play.
Oh, did he ever make up for it? Did not trip up on that play there outside of the initial first step, but made it look smooth at the end.
So that is the first out here on one pitch, and it'll be Colton Traeger. Andres and I talking a little bit about free agents in the MLB.
We're going down that list. Rougned Odor signing that one-year deal with Baltimore. Jose Peraza signing a minor league deal with the Yankees. And then the third baseman, Eduardo Escobar, 2-year deal with the Mets. Big deal there. This one's fouled off and away.
Still looking at some of the bigger names on the table. Still Andres Freddie Freeman's still up there.
Freeman, Kyle Seager, Chris Bryant.
Yep, a 7.8 WAR for Freddie Freeman. I think he might lead it as far as guys that are still left and available. A plethora. Obviously, the major position this offseason was the shortstop position with Carlos Correa, Trevor Story, Corey Seager, and Baez.
Oh, absolutely.
Baez getting signed. That one surprised me to Detroit.
Yeah, that one I wasn't too sure about, especially for a 6-year deal.
Right.
I mean, the Detroit Tigers, I will say, have one of the better farm systems, and they're coming up. But I wasn't so sure about the long-term deal, though. That is what players have been wanting, and we've seen it. And Corey Seager signing that 10-year deal, as we mentioned it with Texas. Like, you know, there are a lot of long-term here. Is players are looking more for security.
So this batter is Donahue, who re-enters the ball game. Not sure exactly where he'll go defensively. Probably
behind the plate.
Probably behind the plate.
Yeah,
I was definitely surprised by Baez. It does make sense on the front, like you said. The Tigers really are up and coming. Here's a strike 3 called.
Oh, that's another one in the other batter's box.
Yeah, so the home plate umpire
consistent, but
a couple of these balls really out on the outer corner.
Yeah, JJ usually does the third base coaching when his team is up to bat. He let the home plate umpire have a little piece of his mind there.
So 2 up, 2 down, bottom of the 6th. The Tigers, a plethora of really good prospects on their hands, especially with Spencer Torkelson.
Oh, that's going to be... I cannot wait for him to come up to the league. He's
real good righty.
Huge.
Oh, yeah. Real good righty. Riley Green, the outfielder as well. Another really good player. This is Brunson, who takes count as 1-1 with 2 down here in the bottom half of the 6th. It'll be really interesting to see where Correa goes, though. He's one of the more pivotal guys. I do believe probably, if I had to guess at least, I would probably guess that the first baseman for the Braves in Freddie Freeman will probably re-sign there. At least he probably wants to. I would guess that's where he's going to go.
You come off of a World Series win. You got a solid core. I mean, Acuna was injured, but he's not gone forever, you know.
Tons of outfielders that still have not been signed. Nick Castellanos probably one of the biggest names there, and the Reds will likely lose control of him. One of the mid-market teams in the Cincinnati Reds, as this ball is tapped back out to the pitcher in Sanchez, who underhands it over. So Brunson is down on the ground out, back to the mound. A quick 1-2-3 inning in the bottom of the 6th. As the Canada A's still trail by 5 runs, the score is 7-2 as we go to the top of the 7th. Back in Palm Springs, Mitch Glessner alongside Andres Tejeda. As Greg Vaughn Jr. digs in and takes a strike. Home plate umpire. We actually started out the cast by talking about umpiring a little bit. And we don't want to make it about that, but losing a little bit of the feel for the zone has been the home plate umpire the last couple of innings. Vaughn not approving of that first pitch strike. He takes outside here. Evens the count up 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out.
Got more of the free agents discussion. It's a foul ball on the check swing. Carlos Rodon, Clayton Kershaw, Zach Greinke, Tyler Anderson, Michael Pineda, Johnny Cueto.
Here's a real interesting one. Where is Kershaw going to end up?
That's what I'm wondering.
Because it almost seems like the Dodgers are ready to move on from him, but he's just one of those guys, like, you can't imagine him in another uniform.
Oh, yeah. You got Felix Hernandez as well on that list. Jake Arrieta.
This ball grounded sharply over into the hole. That'll be a base hit for Greg Vaughn Jr. on the single. So finally, he is rewarded at the plate for hitting the ball hard. As that one finds the hole and into left field for a single, and the Jacks have a runner aboard to lead off here in the 7th.
That's got to be what you do most of the time. Hit the ball hard. It's going to find a hole. That's as much as you can do. And once it, finds that hole, it's going to pay off.
Yeah, it's kind of an odds game. Eventually, you keep hitting the ball hard, it's going to find the hole sooner or later. Here's a swing and a miss from Ortiz Vasquez. I would probably say, in my opinion, again, Kershaw is definitely an interesting... He's one of the more interesting free agents, as well as Carlos Correa. Nick Castellanos can make a huge impact as well. Again, he was the right fielder for the Reds.
I miss him on the Cubbies. He was insane there. Whoever signs him, you're going to get a great outfielder.
Probably try to sign to a longer-term deal, as he is now 30 years old. And that is one of the things that players are fighting for in this lockout, as this ball is lifted into shallow center. Moving out is the shortstop, Walker Paz, who makes the play. One down here off the bat of Ortiz Vasquez. But that is one thing that the players have been fighting for, Andres, is service time.
Oh, yeah, that's one of the main things about this lockout that they're trying to figure out.
Right. Currently, you cannot enter arbitration until your 3rd year. There are the Super 2 guys, with the exception.
Remember when it used to be 7 years?
And so you enter arbitration in your 3rd year. You're not eligible for free agency until you have 6 years of service time. We mentioned Chris Bryant. Teams will try to manipulate that service time, holding guys down in the minors.
Oh, yeah.
But that's one of the things guys are fighting for, is to lower that service time amount, because if you think about it, some of these players, they don't make it to the big leagues until they're around, 21 or 22.
Yeah.
You add 6 years to that, you're not entering free agency until you're around the age of 29 or 30 years old.
Oh, absolutely.
And it makes it difficult for them to then, really lock up long-term deals, which is becoming more of a rarity now, as teams are finding, it's not such a great idea to give a guy, a 12-year deal when he's in his 30s.
Oh, yeah. You think he's going to play till he's 42? You have a few guys doing that now. You got Nelson Cruz, a designated hitter, who's at 41.
Right. Teams just finding that is not a very good return on investment.
I will say Nelson Cruz is an outlier. The man can still hit bombs.
Absolutely. But you see more teams nowadays. You see it with Tatis, see it with some of the Mike Trout, obviously, guys, when they're in their 20s, teams rushing to just extend them immediately and lock up the control. That's the way teams are doing it now, because it doesn't make much sense to offer a guy a long-term deal.
Yeah. Another guy, I'm thinking Randy Arozarena. He signed that long-term extension, which, great deal on the side. In a business standpoint, great deal on the part of the Rays, because that man keeps producing. He's, I'm sorry to say, but he's getting underpaid if he continues to produce and get better and better with age.
Rays underpay everybody, let's face it on that one.
It's tough with a market like that.
Absolutely. Boy, they need a new stadium, that's for certain. I've never been to the Trop, but
I've seen it.
heard
That's
the
one of it.
horror stories of it.
Yeah, I was talking with Joe Madden when I was working parking and security with the Cubs, and I asked him if, what's, differences. I mean, you take the Rays to its first playoff appearance in a couple of years. Like, what's the atmosphere out there? Straight up told me, baseball is not meant to be played indoors. It's like, I get roofs, I understand why roofs are in play, but a dome, absolutely not. Just straight up told me, never ever again does he want to
Theirs
play
is
the dome.
especially terrible because
You lose
the
the ball
roof
up
of
there.
the dome is the same color as the baseball. This ball runs in. Killian Bloat is hit by the pitch after Baker walked, so the bases will be loaded here in the top half of the seventh with the Lumberjacks leading 7-2. And they also have the catwalks going on, which is a whole nother thing in itself.
Yeah, they got different rules if you hit the different rings of the catwalk. If you hit the first ring, you get a ground rule double. Second and third, you get the home run. The fact that they're even in play means that the dome is too low.
It really is the silliest thing in the world. And the other thing, I don't remember which ring it is, but there's one ring that you can still play it off of the ring. It's the most absurd thing.
I think it's the center ring because you can't. If you hit it high enough, it's only going to be it can't go out of the ballpark on that launch angle.
I'm trying to remember. I think it was actually maybe in the playoffs.
Yep.
And somebody hit a ball, and everybody's wondering what's going on. The left fielder, I believe it was into left field. They're like trying to track it off after it hits the catwalk. It's like, how are we allowing this in pivotal playoff baseball? It's just very absurd. But
the thing that's terrible, you can't get rid of the catwalk. It's part of the structure that holds up the dome.
Correct.
That's why there are catwalks up there, because you need to be able to do maintenance on the roof.
Jeremy McKenzie is the hitter here for the Lumberjacks. He hits with the bases loaded. Kyle Armsworthy still on the mound for the Canada A's. Brings a pitch here. This ball tapped softly to third. O'Neill goes home with it. They'll get the force out there on the fielder's choice as Vaughn is out at the plate on the force out.
See, right there is what I was talking about earlier with that Eric throw from Kendrick earlier. Notice how Donahue was in play, in the fair territory when he made that play. He had his left foot on the bag, right foot in fair territory, and there's a better position for a catcher there.
So Donahue puts himself in a good spot there to receive the feed from the third baseman O'Neill. They run that to a tee. And now it'll be back to the top with Kadrian Russ, who has had a very successful ball game today. 3 stolen bases for him on the base pass, 2 singles, 2 runs scored for the lead man. 2 outs here, top of the 7th, as Donahue slides over to make the play. It's only really a matter of time before Tampa Bay moves out of Tampa Bay, the Rays that is.
Well, absolutely.
There's a lot of great places that baseball has talked about moving towards, as this ball is grounded towards the shortstop. Paz fields it, and they get the force out at second for the 3rd out. So nothing doing, even though the Lumberjacks load up the bases, they can't put a run across, but they still lead it 7-2 as we go to the final half inning of work. Canada A's trail it by 5, looking to try to put a dent in that deficit when we come back. Last chance here for the Canada A's, who trail by 5 runs. 7-2 is our score. New pitcher on the mound for the Lumberjacks will be A.J. Shaw. The lefty will battle against Chris O'Neill, who will try to start things off for the A's. First pitch in the dirt, ball 1. Lumberjacks got off to a quick start in the first, setting the tone for this one. 2 runs in the first, adding 2 more in the third, 1 in the fourth, 2 more in the sixth. Canada A's only with 2 runs there in the third. This ball grounded towards the second baseman. Fontana short arms it. I don't know if his arm is hurt. His arm went a little bit limp there. And that'll be an error on the second baseman. Not really sure what's going on there. They gave a half effort of a throw.
Jack Allen.
I guess that would explain why Russo and Fontana have kind of been flip-flopping.
Yeah.
Must be something going on with his arm.
Has to be.
Here's a strike to the hitter, Jack Allen. 1 ball, 1 strike to the left-handed hitter. So O'Neill at first as Shaw brings another strike. Good fastball there on the clips the kneecaps of Jack Allen.
A.J. Shaw, as we've mentioned, coming in the game for the Jacks as we pull up his line score for you.
This ball in the dirt. He tried to get Allen to chase, but he doesn't take the bait.
A.J. Shaw, 4 1/3 innings. Only he's had a save opportunity. Won't get the opportunity here. He's allowed 2 hits, 1 run, only 1 of those earned. 4 walks, 6 strikeouts, a ERA of 1.615.
2 balls, 2 strikes. The lefty sets and kicks and fires in the dirt. Ortiz keeps it in front. Pretty good game from him behind the plate today. Had that snap throw earlier on in the ballgame. That was the back pick at first. It'll be a full count here to Jack Allen. Shaw checks on the runner. Lumberjacks in an easy commanding lead, up by 5. Canada A's trying to show any signs of life here in their last half inning, or what could be their last half inning. This ball, I believe, runs in too far, as Allen will now be aboard at first. So O'Neill moves up to second, and that'll bring up Colton Kendrick.
Now batting for the A's.
A's have had the tendency to load up the bases in the late innings. However, I don't think this lead of 5 is going to be enough for them to come back, although they do have that walk-off from Saturday against the Grizzlies. As Kendrick is coming up and Rutledge in the hole.
Yeah, we got back-to-back walk-off days, Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, it was against the Grizzlies. The A's walked them off, and then the Grizzlies yesterday got some redemption walking off the Bombers in the 7th inning.
Ball low and away here to the lefty, Colton Kendrick. His first plate appearance, swinging and grounding through the hole on the right side into right field. Holding up at third is O'Neill. So it's a base hit to keep things alive for the A's as they try to keep the line moving.
And
that'll bring up Collier Rutledge.
Collier
The A's,
Rutledge.
although they have been underperforming, only 2 wins on the year, do find a way to come back late in the innings. Again, like I said, I don't think they'll come back from this 5-run deficit, but I do think they may put up some runs. But then again, there are no outs in this inning.
Yeah, they are making things interesting here. They have a flair for the dramatic effect, as this ball is by Collier Rutledge on the fastball.
And again, A.J. Shaw, he does have a save.
This ball hit back up the middle. It's another hit for the Canada A's. who have now found themselves with some momentum. 2 runs will come across on the single into center field from Collier Rutledge. Oh boy, we have something cooking here, Andres.
And just like that, the A's cut the lead down to 3. It's 7-4. And Walker Paz is coming up. He's 0 for 1. And he has 1 runner in scoring position.
Walker
Paz is the tying run at the plate.
And no one warming up in either bullpen. Oh, as I say that, there's someone coming out.
Strike one to the lefty. Paz so far today, nothing doing. He did walk back in the 3rd. A strikeout his last time up in the 5th.
Looks like Christian Kazemka is going to the bullpen to warm up for the Jacks.
Yeah, things getting interesting here with nobody out. Inning started with Chris O'Neill reaching on the error. That was the weird play to Fontana, who really didn't throw the ball over to first. Believe there must be some sort of arm injury for the second baseman. Jack Allen walked. Colton Kendrick with a single, and then Collier Rutledge another single and 2 RBIs. Canada A's have been quiet since the 3rd when they scored their first 2 runs. As Paz takes here. Count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody out. Runners at first and second. Shaw to the plate. Check swing. He did not go around.
The last hit the A's had was that lead-off single by Chaplin when he was still in the game in the 4th inning.
Full count here to Paz. Lefty on lefty matchup. Shaw to the plate. Ball is tapped out in front of the plate. Vasquez is going to elect to go to the force out at 3rd.
Beautiful toss.
Very dangerous play there from the catcher. And now they're going to discuss if it's a foul ball.
It's going to be tough because you really don't review foul balls at any level. That's a discretion pitch by the umpire, and it looks like they're going to bring him back. But what a great heads-up play by Vasquez to just whip it down to 3rd, and Thomas way to cover it. So it'll be a foul ball.
The plate is in play.
Sounded like it hit off of the home plate, and that was a trivia question we had earlier in the year.
Very unique there. Paz gets another opportunity into left, and almost overrunning it was Baker. He makes the play for the first out. A scary play there. The left fielder Chris Baker almost overran that shot into the gap by Paz. Still not exactly sure why they elected to call that a foul ball off the bat, Paz. It hit home plate, and then Vasquez Ortiz fielded it in front of home, so not exactly sure why they called it a foul ball, but nonetheless, Paz is out on the flyout. This will be Messiah Fukuda to try and keep things alive with 1 down. Takes this pitch up high.
Yeah, there's
1 ball, 1 strike.
There's one thing I remember from the umpire training, and we talked a little bit about that earlier today. Home plate is in fair territory.
Yes.
That is a fair ball.
Right. So the ball would have had to have hit Paz in the box, which it didn't.
No, it went down the 3rd base line, and that's why Vasquez was able to pounce on it and throw over to Thomas, who, again, great play there if they were able to get it done, get the leadoff runner at 3rd, possibly get the double play, toss over to 1st.
Nonetheless, it doesn't really matter. Paz is still out on the fly out as Fukuda still battles, fouling this one off. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Shaw trying to get out of the jam. Things have gotten interesting here in the bottom of the 7th.
Looks like there's no one now in the bullpen.
This ball still fouled. Fukuda staying alive. Just trying to put the ball in play and give himself and the A's a chance.
So I'm just getting a update from our PA announcer, Josh Sperber. This one's fouled off. Sports New York Television made their own MLB The Show cover.
There you go.
With, who is it?
Of course, Jacob deGrom. The Lumberjacks sure wish that they could fly Jacob deGrom out to the hill right now to get out of the jam. A.J. Shaw laboring out there, the lefty-on-lefty matchup. Fires home here. This ball is down. Fukuda working on a good at-bat here. Really picky on selecting his pitches. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Shaw to the plate quickly. This ball barely missing. Shaw thought it was strike 3.
Yeah, that's a strike 3 right there. At least to me, especially when you're calling strikes in the other batter's box. That's too close to not call if you're calling the pitch on the batter's box a strike.
Fukuda stays alive, and now he's going to walk. So things really getting interesting here.
Oh, definitely.
The bases will be loaded for Eddie McCabe.
The time call, and now it'll be
Jimmy Johnson. Actually, that's going to be Cam Roth out to
Cam
talk.
Roth.
Cam Roth, our pitching coordinator here, so he will have a chat with Shaw on the mound.
It's now becoming a save situation. 3 runs down.
Well, it will not be a save situation since Shaw started the inning. If should the new pitcher come in, then it would be a save opportunity. Shaw still in the game. He started the inning. The lefty hasn't found much success so far in the California Winter League. Decent stuff. He's got a good fastball that he lives low in the zone with, but decent mechanics, repeatable. This will be Eddie McCabe, who now takes a strike. The righty hits with the bases juiced here. The tying run is at first in Fukuda. This ball getting by the catcher. They're going to try to move up, and scoring from third is Kendrick. So everybody moves up a bag. Now the third run at the bottom of the 7th. And now the tying run is out at second base on the wild pitch. So a wild pitch to make things interesting. Here's a ball to the hitter McCabe. So Fukuda now at second. Shaw trying to get out of it. Grounded softly to the third baseman. Trying to go home, and they get the tag. A risky play there from Drew Thomas. But they do get the out at home. Vasquez slaps the tag on Collier Rutledge, so it'll be a fielder's choice for the second out. Runners at the corners. A clutch play defensively there by the third baseman.
Oh, absolutely. Heads up baseball. We're seeing some of the best defense in the league that we've seen thus far. So now runners will be on the corner. McCabe at first, Fukuda at third. And big right-handed batter, Connor Donahue, can definitely clear the bases on a ball hitting the gap.
Big swing and a miss here. Runners at the corners for Donahue. Can he come up clutch in this game? No balls and a strike. Runners on the corners. This pitch high, taken for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 down. Bottom of the 7th. 7-5 is our score. A big fielder's choice for that last out as Drew Thomas made the play, cutting down the run at home. Swing and a miss, and the Canada A's are down to their last strike.
That was a swing for the fences.
The tying run is at first in Eddie McCabe should Donahue put it into the gap, and it's not out of the question for McCabe to score from first should Donahue find one of the foul lines with all the real estate in the outfield. 1 ball, 2 strikes inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes now to Donahue.
If I were McCabe, I'd try to safely and responsibly try to move up to second. Try to get your the pitcher to throw over, maybe an errant throw, get that runner across, you're down by 1, and now in scoring position, you got McCabe. And he does that right now.
Strike 3 looking Donahue down on strikes. The threat is done. The Canada A's putting on their last efforts in the bottom of the 7th, but they can't get it done. So they will lose by 2. The final score, 7-5 in favor of the Lumberjacks. A great start for Jack Silva.
He'll get the win here.
Yes, he will get the win. A great start from him for the Lumberjacks. And they also get some run support on their 9 hits to score 7. Canada A's made it interesting there in the bottom half of the 7th, but they're unable to come back, and they will drop this one. The Jacks finishing out, getting unscathed, with the Canada A's threatening there in the bottom half.
So your final line score, the Lumberjacks beat the A's 5-7, getting 5 runs on 9 hits, 2 errors. The Canada A's 5 runs on 4 hits and 3 errors.
So that will do it in Game 1 here on this Monday morning, with the Lumberjacks beating the Canada A's. Game 2 will be between the British Columbia Bombers and the Palm Springs Power. We'll bring that one to you coming up next in about 30 or so minutes. For Mitch Glessner alongside Andres Tejeda, that will do it here in Game 1 with the Lumberjacks winning. Keep it right here in about 30 minutes. We'll be right back for Game 2 action. Josh Sperber will move over and be on the call, and I will move to the color spot for that one. That'll do it in Game 1, and we'll see you in about 30 minutes here in Palm Springs.